We start things in Italy, Napoli, with a 4-1 victory over Liverpool. They were sensational, particularly in the first half, the hosts, and the scoreline, you could certainly argue, flatters Jurgen Klopp's side. Well, Gab Marcotti is with us, but Stevie, I feel like we kind of have to start with you.
Well, we kind of know that Liverpool have not had the best start to the season.
Nope.
But today, I think, was a new low. I mean, they really are in disarray. You know, you can always find excuses for forwards or attacking players who maybe can't finish or just not quite on their game. But what you cannot forgive is a midfield and a back line that is absolutely all over the place. That is basics. You know, to win games, you can't give goals away. And Liverpool right now, not only are giving goals away, but teams are playing through them so easily. It's absolutely scary. Yes, Napoli today, on the break in particular, were fantastic. And it would have been difficult regardless of who was defending against them. But Liverpool make it so easy for teams. And it's not just Napoli. You know, other than Bournemouth this season, Liverpool have been not outplayed, but teams, whether it's in open play or whether it's been on the break, have cut Liverpool apart. Everybody. Palace did it, Fulham did it, Everton did it, Napoli's done it today. As I said, Bournemouth's the only side, because they're so bad, that haven't done it. Liverpool right now are in disarray.
It was quite a spectacle to see them just continuously shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah. Well, there was some good news for Liverpool today, that Osimhen had to go off before half-time.
Yeah.
That was great news for Liverpool, because he, along with 3 or 4 of his attacking teammates from midfield and to the forward line, were just cutting them apart with 2 and 3 touches in behind, couple of touches, ball in behind, every time. Napoli were superb, right? Not superb. Going forward, absolutely brilliant. The way they passed the ball, everything. But Liverpool, so it's 50. I think it's a 50-50 split. It takes 2 to tango here. And I've not seen Liverpool, well, I say I've not. They've been disjointed in the Premier League. But I didn't think I would see them this disjointed in such a big game. I suppose there was some warning signs there at Old Trafford in the first 20 minutes, half an hour. And you thought, right, OK, they're going to put that right the next game. And Bournemouth came along and that was cannon fodder. And then there was the Merseyside derby, blah, blah, blah. But it's not an individual thing. Gomez was horrible. It's not been about Joe Gomez. Alexander-Arnold's defending's been awful at the start of the season, but it's not just Alexander-Arnold. It's everything. It's every facet. It's the pressing from the front, the pressing them from the midfield and the back line. None of it's happening, so everything else is getting exposed. And so it's not an immediate fix by taking 1 or 2 players out of the team. It's not like you could say, right, so-and-so's not playing well, so take him out and replace with him and everything in the world will be right. There is so many things wrong with the Liverpool team at the moment that it's going to take an awful lot of thinking and hard work from Klopp on the training ground, as well as a lot of personnel changes, or some, to right this wrong at the moment, because it's not... I mean, you're talking about taking players out. Goodness me, you could take Van Dijk out if you wanted. It's not just 1 or 2 players, it's the whole thing.
How's it come to this?
I honestly believe that coaches should never forget the base of what you do that makes you successful is always the most important thing. It's always great when you've got a player like Salah who's scoring goals, worldies, doing all kinds of stuff. It's always great when you've got that at your disposal. But you need a base. You need a base to build on. And Liverpool's base was a back line that was solid, a middle 3 that was not only solid, but nothing got through it, and it supplied the front 3. And if anything did get through it, then the back line that was solid covered for the middle 3. And that is basics of football. You don't lose goals. You're always in the game. You've always got a chance. To me, I think maybe they've forgotten about the basics. Because if you get the basics right, you're always going to be in a game. Not the way that Liverpool have been this season. I just don't think they've spent enough time reminding the players of how important the basics are. Because that's what it's down to.
How easy is it then to rediscover those basics? Again, considering the games now are thick and fast until the World Cup, pretty much.
It's pretty impossible.
Pretty
impossible. They're going to be playing every 3 days.
Yeah.
How are they going to do it? You can sit in a meeting room and show videos all day long, but the place to be is out on the field, and they're not going to be able to do it because they're playing every 3 days. They won't be doing any training, and this is going to be between now and the World Cup. So I don't know how he fixes it. I don't know how he's got the time to fix it, and right now he doesn't have the personnel to make changes, and so. Where's the answer coming from? Klopp's going to have a lot of sleepless nights coming up because I don't know how he fixes it. I hope he does because I don't see too many options other than what I've told you.
Gab, as Craig mentioned, of course, it took 2 to tango, and Napoli were brilliant today.
Yeah, I'm glad we can talk about some of the things Napoli did right as well.
We were getting there, Gab. We were doing the Liverpool bit first, and then we're getting to Napoli. It's all right.
Hold your horses.
Calm down.
Oh, you didn't be giving a sticky word. You're giving Liverpool under pressure.
I just think more broadly here when we talk about teams spending money and the dominance and look, the Premier League spent this much and blah 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 and the Farmers Leagues and all this nonsense. It's about being smart and having a plan. And I think the way Napoli have started this season, just a reminder, Napoli lost their three emotional leaders. Dries Mertens, Lorenzo Insigne, who of course went to MLS, and Koulibaly in the summer, right? Those weren't just arguably the 3 best players. Those were the 3 players who were giants in the dressing room. Leadership, all that stuff coaches talk about, right? And they fixed it on the fly. And you saw Kvaratskhelia again. I know Kvaradona, Kvaramania. I'm sure at some point the guy will come back to earth. But you saw what he can be. You see what a fit Osimhen can do. And he sends them out there. And they're motivated against Liverpool. Now, of course, Napoli have a great record against Liverpool at the Stadio Maradona. So, maybe that played into it as well. But a guy like Zambo Anguissa, who, was in the Premier League at Fulham. Fulham clearly didn't realize what they had, went on loan, Villarreal, back to Napoli, did well. Napoli buys him outright, and he shows what he can do on the big stage. And Spalletti preparing for this game by deciding to play a guy like Politano, for example, instead of Chucky Lozano out on the wing. All these things coming together, this is planning, this is preparation, this is being in good form, and this is making sure that, you can be as good as you can be on the night and give yourself the best possible chance of winning. And I think, you need to tip your hat to Spalletti. Oh, one more thing. Alex Meret, the goalkeeper. This is a guy who all summer long, Spalletti was, or the rumor in Napoli was that, he doesn't dominate his defense. He's not a leader. And that's why they tried to get Keylor Navas. In the end, they couldn't get Keylor Navas. They chuck him in there. What does the kid do? So many people thought he was going to crumble. But no, he goes out there, and certainly tonight he made some big saves as well. So all of this together, creating that environment, that's kind of the sweet spot you want to be in. And when that happens, you realize the gap between Liverpool and Napoli is nowhere near as big as some people might have us believe.
Well, I mean, I don't think we should start getting into comparing league because that's, these are just one-off results, Gab. If Napoli had done this to Manchester City and Man City were at the pomp, that's a different thing. Liverpool have been in shambles this year. We talked in yesterday's show about, this needs to be a spot. Well, we don't want to get into this Farmer League conversation because one team wins one game.
No. I'm not suggesting. I'm not making any conclusions. I'm saying is what we often forget is that in the 90 minutes, the team that's in better form, and Napoli were in better form going into this, and the team that prepares better, and the team that confines players, they can give themselves the best possible chance to win. And then, obviously, Liverpool have better players, they're a better side overall, and that's how these results happen. It's not just about Liverpool playing badly, as you yourself, Craig, said when you said it took 2 to tango.
No, I said yesterday, just briefly, Liverpool needed a spark. That's why this game was going to be tough. They needed something to get their season going. And quite frankly, Stevie said, they got the opposite. They got the opposite. And this is where they are at the moment. There's no group at the moment. And this, you can go through all the groups. This group of death nonsense and all that. You can go through them all. There isn't an easy group for Liverpool. You wouldn't have said that 18 months ago, a year ago. You would not have said that. There is not an easy group for them. There is not an easy game. After, say, Bournemouth was an easy game. There doesn't seem on paper an easy game for them in the Premier League either.
Sadio Mane's absence, Stevie. It's got to have a contributing factor, doesn't it?
No, I'm not.
How can you be so dismissive of that?
No. Well, because the one shining light for Liverpool has been Diaz, who plays on that side. Liverpool's problem is not.
Could you not have Mane?
Liverpool's problem is not attacking down the left-hand side.
Right.
So guess what? Mane plays
Liverpool
there.
falling off a cliff has got nothing to do with Mane not being there.
No, not at all. So Mane leaving turns Virgil van Dijk into a quivering jelly.
No,
is that what you're suggesting?
I'm just saying,
because that's what we're looking at.
I'm just saying it's quite the coincidence, isn't it?
Well, it's not. But you can't. Come on. Do you seriously think Liverpool have fallen apart because Sadio Mane left?
I'm just saying it could be a small part of the jigsaw, but it's still the part that's missing.
Every single person involved with Liverpool would rather that Mane stayed.
Right.
Right. Is that what you want to hear?
Look. I'm just saying that you're very dismissive of it.
But it's not because it's got nothing. Mane leaving has got nothing to do with every man and his dog streaming through the middle of Liverpool's midfield, and then when it goes through the middle of midfield, making the guy who was meant to be the best defender, who was the best defender on the planet until this actual season, made to look average.
Right.
You can't turn around and say that's got to do with Mane.
But in replacing his work rate, Diaz works hard.
Yes.
There is definitely a question to be had about the old adage about defending starts at the front. Now, you've got Diaz who works hard and puts a shift in, but you've got a combination between Nunez and Firmino who have been in and out. Firmino's not been in great form for a while, has had a few injuries. Mo Salah, now that he's definitely the big cheese because Mane's gone, and Mane never got the money and never got the love, but he did. How much of a comfort zone is he in now? Because he's been there, he's done it, he's seen it, he's achieved it, and guess what? He's got the big Aubameyang check. You know that big one Arsenal gave him, then he went missing. Now, I'm not suggesting, I'm not saying for sure that that's where it is, but is it any coincidence that a lot of these guys have been sort of in the comfort zone, and where does Klopp turn to? Where's the alternatives? And are they working as hard as they were? Maybe they think they are, but they're not. They're not. They're not closing teams down with the same vehement aggression that they were, and consequently they're not putting the same amount of pressure on, so they're getting played through easier, and the back line's under more pressure. And that's all starting from there.
That's down to the coach.
Just one more thing, because we've got so much else to talk about today. Trent Alexander-Arnold walking for 2 of the 4 goals.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable. I don't know what other way to put it. It's unacceptable, and Klopp's going to have to do something to change it. And if it means he sits him on his backside as a reminder, then he's going to have to do it, because it's unacceptable. There's no other way to put it. It's unacceptable for a professional player to walk.
Let's just take a look then at how the group stands. Ajax with a big victory over Rangers in the early kick-off today means that them and Napoli are then top. And Liverpool getting out of the group, Steve?
Well, they're going to beat Rangers.
Right.
Do you know, it's very, very difficult to sit here and be positive about anything. You know, I was looking, we previously, probably 5 minutes ago, we put up Liverpool's start to the season. And after the Man City victory, they actually could have lost every single game. Now, they didn't, but the way they're playing, they could have... sorry, I beg your pardon, apart from Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Every other game, the way the games went, conceivably they could have lost them. And it wouldn't have been a huge shock the way they played.
You got Ajax.
So Ajax
is the next game at Anfield.
Listen, when these groups came out, I said that Ajax would not be half the team they were because they've lost half the players, the likes of Antony and Martinez to Man United and others. But right now, I can't see Liverpool defending properly against anybody. That's the sort of situation that Liverpool are in right now. Regardless of the opposition, the only thought I've got is they're going to give up opportunities. And right now, they're giving goals away.
I'd love to have talked about the Georgian boy at Napoli, but I can't pronounce his name properly.
There you are. Gab, come on.
Come on, yeah.
Come on.
Kisha Kvaratskhelia.
There you go.
That's why I did. And that's why I stayed.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.